And before we start with this podcast episode, we're gonna try something new, and I'm gonna show just random footage of us detailing vehicles. So if you are watching this on YouTube, it's a bit more entertaining than just watching me talk. So let me know if this changes anything, if you like it any better. Let me know in the comment section down below, and now let's get started with the podcast episode.
And welcome back to another podcast episode. We're actually doing a solo one here today because the last 3 or 4 episodes, I've actually had Caesar or Lex on as a guest. So I figured I'll take this one on my own, just talk to you one-on-one as we have for like a majority of the podcast episodes. This one's going to be a little bit different. So like one thing I kind of reiterate on my stories or on YouTube videos is that like I don't try to be like a motivational guy. I'm not some guru. I'm not some like, I'm not the guy that's gonna like tell you to just go out there and get it done and just work and work. And that's just not my stigma. I don't talk about that. I know a lot of people look at me for motivation and inspiration, but like I don't try to like intentionally speak motivational. Like you have the Gary V's or the whoever else, and it's like they try to be motivational. I'm not trying to be that. I'm just a guy sharing what I do. But that being said, though, there is a question I received, and I've got these a few times, which it's I don't really get these questions, but it's kind of going over how do you handle criticism and negativity and people kind of like bashing on you. So this specific instance, it's from that that reel that I posted, that we charge $850 for an interior. So I'm basically gonna read off this thread between me and this individual, and I'm gonna go in depth into how I'm able to manage criticism, negativity, haters, trolls, and especially because I'm on the internet. I'm posting on Detail Groove between TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I get a lot of comments, and I've been doing that for the last 5 years now. I've seen quite a bit of like trolls, haters, whatever. So here's the question. So he sent me the reel about the $850 interior job. And he says, he basically says, I'll just read it verbatim. It says, "I got to give it to you, bro. These comments scream hate, but they're actually hating themselves because they're nowhere near you are. So my question is, how do you deal and cope with the naysayers, haters, or trolls?" And that is a pretty loaded question just because I feel like through a lot of things I've done over the last 5, 6 years, 7 years has really kind of built that tolerance or like that screen or shield between like what people say and then like how it affects me. So specifically when it comes to the pricing, because if you go, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on Instagram, when I post videos about our pricing, a majority of people start saying how that's too expensive, it's a ripoff, it's a scam, you're ripping people, you're robbing people. Like the majority of the comments are like that. Literally, when I post a detail that we did for 250, you get those comments. When I post a video for 500, we get those comments. When I post a video about 800, we get those comments. So regardless of the price tag or what we did for the service, those kind of comments are going to surface up. And I can see definitely how that can kind of scare some people away if, about like posting online because you don't want to get those like haters, trolls, naysayers. So the way I look at it is that like, and there's so many levels to this, but for me, like, and there's no specific order. I'm gonna just kind of talk off what comes off the top of my head. And I'm a little sick, so my nose is a little congested. But one thing is like, I know the kind of business that we run, right? I know the services that we offer. I know, the kind of customers that we attract. I know the level of service that we offer and provide to our customers. And for us, like, because we know what we're doing and we understand the kind of value we provide, we know that our pricing is expensive. Like when everyone is saying like, you're so expensive, like, yes, we are. Like, I'm not denying that. Not one bit. Like, we are expensive. Now, that being said, like, are we the most expensive in our area? No, actually, we're not. So when people are bashing us about our pricing, calling us a ripoff, it's like, we're just playing, and not to sound like, I don't know, like cocky or anything, but it's like we're just playing at a different level, right? Because a lot of comments that you'll see, even from detailers too, they're like, "Bro, I wouldn't, that's a $300 job. Like you're ripping people off." And it's like, yeah, like you might charge 300 and you might get customers for 300, but we're just not operating at that level. Like if you're gonna do a disgusting interior and say like, "Oh, I could have done that for 300 instead of your 800," like that's fine, but like that's why we get the customers that pay top dollar for our services, and you stay at charging 300, 400. So one, we're not the most expensive. So everyone that's bashing me on the pricing or something, it's like, dude, you don't understand. Like, this is the category that we're in of pricing. Like, you see us as expensive, but we are amongst the other expensive detailers, and like, there's a market for that, you know. So the ones that are saying that are trolling on the comments and saying stuff, it's like, well, they wouldn't hire us anyway, right? Like, if we charge 400, they probably wouldn't hire us. If we charge 300, they probably wouldn't hire us. So the ones that are leaving the comment, it's like, it's just fake. It's like, it's a false reality, right? Like, it doesn't bother me it doesn't bother me one bit, because I know they're not our real customers. I know that in the real world, they wouldn't spend $300 on an interior, right? So like, to that degree, it's like, it doesn't really matter what they say, because they're not like actual customers that have actual value to our business, you know? And aside from that, it's like, you have to understand the business that you're running, right? Like, you can't allow, and actually Mark Zuckerberg said this on the Joe Rogan podcast. He said, if I focused on people liking me, I wouldn't be able to grow business. And I was like, that's absolutely true, right? If you are focusing your time getting people to like what you do in your business, you won't be able to grow your business, because you will always be looking at other people's opinion and saying, well, if I charge this much, this part of the population won't like me. But if I charge this much, this part of the population won't like me. And if I charge this much, this population won't like me. And at that point, if you're trying to please everyone, where are you going to go? You know, like I always say, when we were charging $400 for a detail, it was just too expensive. When we're charging $650 for a detail, it's too expensive. When we're charging $850 for a detail, it's too expensive. When we're charging $1450 for a detail, it's too expensive. When we're charging $1,900 for a detail, it's too expensive. So at what point are you gonna say, like, okay, yeah, I can't try to please everyone? At some point, someone is gonna get mad at you. Someone is not gonna like you for your pricing. Someone is not gonna like you for what's included in your services. Like, it's gonna happen at every point in whatever phase that you are in your business. Right? You're saying, well, I'm charging cheap. I'm only charging $200. Buddy, trust me, you'll always have people that can't afford your services. It's always going to happen. So whether it's a detailer saying, bro, you're ripping people off, whether it's just some random kid that's like, this is a total ripoff, it doesn't bother me, because the world keeps on spinning, right? When they scroll off my video, are they going to remember me? No. Do they care about my well-being? No. Do they care if I fail? No. Like, I am but just a small little second of entertainment. They leave a comment, they scroll away, they're never going to see my page again, you know? So that's one thing. Second, it's like, the world keeps on spinning. As far as like, we're going to continue to book on customers. Like, I can go to my TikTok, and let me see if I can do this in real time without putting music on. I can go to my TikTok, right? Detail Groove Co., which that's a funny story altogether, but I can go to Detail Groove Co., and I can scroll down to when it was like one of the first videos that like got some traction on TikTok, where I talked about charging $400 for a detail. And even right there, people were like, bro, you're a ripoff. This is a scam. You're robbing people. You're straight ripping people. You're taxing people. And this was like months ago. So let me see if I can find it. It's one of the ones that actually got like a few 100,000 right here. So there's this video that I posted on June 30th. And a bunch of comments are saying, again, it's your typical comments of like, for $400, you better like wash my car. For $400, it better be perfect. For $400, like, you better put gas in my car, right? And the thing is, when I say like the world keeps on spinning, it's like, bro, we kept on booking $600 jobs, $1,400 jobs, $900 jobs, $300. Like, just because you get all these like negative comments on TikTok about people saying, bro, that's a ripoff. I could have done it for half price. You know, you're overcharging. We continue to book out our schedule. We continue to get customers paying our premium price. We continue to get 5-star reviews from customers. We continue to get repeat customers. So it's like, what happens on this little TikTok app or Instagram or YouTube is not real life. So it doesn't bother me in any way, just because it's like, bro, our business continues to run. Like, I've been getting comments of, you're overcharging, you're too expensive, since like 2015. You know, it's like, there's no like effect to what people say on the internet. And that's why you need to listen to your customers, not the comments, right? What kind of services are you offering? If you're offering services to your customers, right? And if you tell me like, yeah, you know, most of the people tell us yes, right? As far as your customers, it's like, bro, you're too cheap then. If most people are telling you yes, you're probably too cheap, right? Again, that's just like a general blanket statement. Don't take it to heart. But what I'm saying is like, you really have to understand the services that you're offering, at what price point, at like what kind of business do you want to run, Because for us, like they're getting mad at the well again, like again, at any price point, like the trolls come out the woodwork and they start commenting. But it's like, yeah, bro, that's $850 for the interior. We just charge $1,400 for a correction and coating. We have a $600 interior. Like, I just don't know what to say. Like, this is how we run our business, right? And again, we're not the most expensive. So whatever you deem as too expensive, bro, there's a whole other slew of businesses that are doing the same because that's at the level that we operate, right? Like, I'm okay not getting the $400 job when we would charge $700. Like, that's just that we're okay with that. That's how we run our business. And another perfect example is that we had a customer come in with a lot of water, like severe water etchings across the entire vehicle. It was on the paint, the glass, everywhere, wheels, bumper, like everywhere. And we initially quoted the customer $5,000 to remove it was like severe. Like we were gonna wet sand the entire vehicle. It was gonna take a lot of work to get the wet sand, the water spots out of the glass. It was gonna be very, very tedious, like a lot of work. So the customer says, "Hey, like, okay, thanks. Like, I'm gonna go look around for the quotes." We're like, "Okay, fine." So it takes about like a week or 2 weeks, and the customer asks around, got other quotes, and then he reaches back out to us. He's like, "Hey guys, I'd like to go with you guys, but is there any way that we can drop the price?" And it's like, yeah, like instead of doing the wheels, the glass, the front bumper, the whatever, like we'll just focus on the paint. And yeah, it was like the paint minus the front bumper, and that was like so. But yeah, basically just the paint and minus the front bumper, and we dropped it down to $2,000. And again, the customer still went with, like, he specifically told us he had found someone cheaper, and it was like, okay, that's fine, like you can go with them. And then later on, he reaches back out to us. He's like, "Hey guys, I'd like to go with you. Is there a way that we can drop the price?" And we dropped it to 2,000 based on like dropping other parts of the service that we were doing. But it just goes to show, like, he found someone cheaper. He found someone else to do it. There's other detailers that would have done it for a lot less. But why does he still come back to us? And that literally goes for every service, right? Like, there's literally plenty of other detailers within 10 minutes of us that can do what we do for a much cheaper price. But why do customers choose us, right? And again, like, you need to have that clarity with your business, right? Like, if you're thinking like, "Oh, well, am I able to charge that much?" Like, you don't have clarity on the type of customers that you're servicing. You don't have clarity on the type of customers that you're attracting, right? Like, if you're like, "Oh, well, I don't know about this and I don't know about that," you're not in control of your business, right? If you're like, "Oh, well, it's too expensive, customers are gonna leave me," that means you're not in control of your business. You're not in control of saying, "Hey, I can charge this much because this is what we provide, because this is the kind of customers that we generate or attract, and this is how I want to run my business." So for us, like, if someone sends us photos for an interior job, and that falls for us as like a disgusting interior, right, or like a filthy whatever, and for us it's gonna be, call it 600. Everyone else might charge 350, 450. That's fine. If a customer says, "Hey, this other detailer will charge 500, let's say $100 difference, right? Can you match that?" We can't. I'm sorry. Like, it's fine. Like, go with them. Like, we don't hold a gun to anyone's head. We know we're expensive, but if we're gonna work on it and we're gonna do our process, then we're gonna charge this amount because we know our process and we know what we're gonna do. Another example is like on the smoke odor removals, right? For us, like, generally speaking, starting price for smoke odor removal is $600, right? And it's gone all the way up to $1,400. So we make, like, if a customer comes to us with the car already being treated, but the smoke didn't go all the way out, I'm putting air quotes for those that just listen to this on the podcast. We'll give them two options. We'll say, "Hey, look, if it's already been cleaned, quote unquote, from the previous detailer dealership, what we can do is we can run an ozone treatment for $100, right? And if the odor's removed, fantastic. If it's not removed and you want us to do another treatment, it'll be another $100, right? So we could go that route, but it's a bit of a gamble, right? Because if the odor doesn't get removed from the first pass, and then we have to do another pass, and then the odor still isn't removed, then at that point, that means they didn't do a thorough job cleaning the interior. So if you want, customer, we can do 1 or 2 ozone treatments, and hopefully that removes it. But we can't guarantee anything because we don't know what the previous detailer did. We don't know what their process was. We don't know if they actually cleaned everything, right? It's like getting like another person half baking a cake, and right before the oven, they're like, "Hey, by the way, can you finish this off?" And it's like, well, what is the recipe? How did you cook it? What's in it? What ingredients did you use? It's like, don't worry about it. Just finish it off. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Because like I don't know what you did with everything, and now you just gave me like the last step, and you want me to, like it just doesn't work that way. So we tell the customer like, hey, look, if you want, if totally up to you, we'll do whatever you want. We can try to run the ozone treatment once, hopefully that removes it, and you're good to go. That's fine. But if the odor stays there, then we have to, in order to actually remove it, we have to go through the whole deep cleaning process because we don't know what the previous detailer did on this interior that has a lot of smoke odor. So if you want, we can do $100 ozone treatment. But if you want us to do our process, right, regardless if the other detailer already cleaned it, like we don't know that, right? But let's assume that he did. Even if he did, if they already cleaned it, clearly something is missing because the odor is not going away by the ozone treatments. So for us to do it, it's going to be $600. We're going to go through the whole process, scrub everything, yada yada, do the whole pitch, right? So we can do an ozone, and when we're talking to them, it's much less. It's like a few sentences, right? Like this is just to explain it via podcast, via audio. It's like, so if you want, we could do a $100 ozone treatment. Hopefully it's good, and you're on your way. That'd be great. But if not, it's probably gonna need a much thorough cleaning, and that's gonna be $600. Which one would you like to do? It's whatever you want to do. We can do the $100 ozone treatment, and hopefully that's good enough, and you're on your way, and that's fine. But if not, you have to come back, and the best process would be for us to go through our interior cleaning process and then do the ozone treatment. The ozone treatment alone, 5 hours, and you'll get it back. Our process, 2 days, right? And again, that's our process. If your smoke odor removal process can do it in 6 hours, hey, more power to you. Our process, the way we do things, is going to take 2 days, or at least a day and a half, right? And a lot of times, like a majority of the time, the customer elects to go with the full process. For us going through the entire vehicle, cleaning it, doing what we need to do, running the ozone treatment, keeping it at our shop for like 1.5 to 2 days, and doing that route. Why? Because it is the peace of mind that they're getting, right? And we tell them, hey, if the odor comes back 3 days from now, a week from now, just contact us. We'll run another ozone treatment free of charge, and hopefully that'll remove the odor. So if we do the ozone treatment alone, we're not going to guarantee anything. If you come back for another ozone treatment, we're going to charge you again. If you go through the full process, because we're going to be able to control the process from A to Z, from cleaning it to doing the ozone treatment. If the odor comes back, just bring it back whenever you can. We'll do another ozone treatment free of charge, and hopefully that gets the odor away. So with the full process, that's more expensive, that takes more time. We're gonna back it up. We're gonna put our name behind it because we're doing the whole process. Again, that's how we run our business. If another detailer is like, yeah, I could just like quickly clean that area that I think they smoked in, and then run the ozone treatment, and that'll be $200. Hey, go for it, bro. Like I'm not stopping anyone from doing whichever way, right? Like I am not the detail police. I'm not here to tell that detailer, oh well, he's doing it wrong because this, that, or he's overcharging, or he's under. Hey, you do whatever you want, right? We have our systems. We know what we're doing. We know the customers that we're attracting. We know the kind of business that we run, and whatever price point that is, bro. That's what we do, you know. And I think I got a little bit off track based on what I was trying to get to. So handling the negativity part too is that a lot of those people don't run the business, right? Like you can clearly tell by the way they word the comments. I'm like, bro, you don't run the business. Like, and a lot of time, and I always reply, not to everyone just because it's a lot of comments, but I do try to reply to some of them. A lot of them I'd like react with emojis. But I try to answer back. I'm like, I hope one day you're able to leave your day job and run your business, because you will see how wrong you are of the assumptions that you're making, right? Because like I know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that most people that comment, 1, don't run their business, 2, aren't planning to run their business, 3, they probably work at a job where like, oh well, at my job that's what we do, and it's like, but are you the owner? Are you the one responsible for the payroll? Are you the one that runs the entire operations? No. So it's like it's a different kind of perspective when you're an employee at a company versus when you run the whole thing. And one thing is like, I hope one day you're able to leave your day job and do your own business full time, and you'll see how wrong a lot of things that you're saying, because the way you're wording these statements, these comments, you could just tell like, oh yeah, this guy probably like watched one episode of Shark Tank, and he's like, well, you're not supposed to do that because. So that's why it doesn't bother me. Like a lot of these are just kind of, you know, I don't want to say this in like in a mean way, but it's just the way I see. Like it's kind of a joke. Like you hold no weight behind your words, right? Or if it's other detailers, because yes, there's a lot of detailers that also bash me, that say negative things, that troll, that hate, whatever, right? That they'll say like, oh, bro, well, I could easily done that in $400, not remove the seats, and I would have got better results. And it's like, I go and don't get me wrong, like I like to like communicate with those people. Like I'll send them a DM and be like, hey man, like what do you think of my pricing? I'd really like to understand where you're coming from. Just because like I'm not trying to be like an echo. Like I'd like to really hear where they're coming from to see like why they think like that. So I'll go onto their page and like their Instagram page and look at their content. And when I look at their content, I'm like, bro, like we're not the same, dude. Like we're not the same in terms of what we're doing, right? Again, I'm not trying to be like mean or cocky or anything, but it's like, bro, how based on the photos and videos and content that you're publishing on Instagram, it's completely different than what we're doing. And again, I'm not saying you're right. I'm just saying like I can see why you would only charge $400. I can see why, you know. And it's like, again, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like we're just not on the same page in terms of how we're running our business, you know. And then I look at other things of like, all right, bro, like, does anyone else here leaving a comment? Do you have a team? Do you run the company? Do you have like actual payroll? Do you have like actual expenses? Like, and what I mean actual, again, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like this is what goes through my head of like, bro, you're working at a like your personal truck. You have no employees. You have no overhead at a rent. Like you have no insurance to pay out. It's like your mindset between what we're doing and what you do. It's just two completely different things. Again, which is why it's like, bro, I don't like. I really do like. It does not bother me not one bit when anyone like says I'm a clown or a ripoff or tag, because like, bro, like we're operating at different levels here. You know, like there's just there's levels to this in terms of like overhead and costs and pricing and business and marketing and operation and sales and communications and customer service, customer experience, and like fulfillment. Like there's so many things that you guys are just looking at the price and it's like, that's too expensive. It's like, all right, bro. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it is, because it is like, don't get me wrong, it is like our prices are expensive. But again, it goes back to the other point of like, bro, you understand like the detailers around here, we all charge this rate. Like this is the level that we operate. And at that same point, it's like there's detailers in our area as well that are charging $200, $300 for detail, right? I'm just saying like in the category that we're in, right? You have like the lower, cheaper, quick car washes. You have like the mid-tier price services. And then we have like the expensive premium detailer. Like we're in that bracket and we're like in the bottom half of it, right? Like we're not the most, like if you go to other shops, there's one that charge much higher for the correction and coatings than we do. So that's why it's like, you got, again, like I'm going to take the flag because like I'm the one like publicizing our pricing. But bro, like there's other shops that are charging much more for the correction coatings, you know? So it's like, it's all like, bro, you guys are, you know, you're kind of hollering at nothing because, bro, like come talk to all these shops. Like we're all charging these higher rates because that's the kind of business and services that we're offering. We're offering the more premium options. Like that's all I could put it to. So let me go back to the conversation there and see if I can pick anything else out. And the thing is, look, like when you know the kind of customers that you're getting and you're focused on the right kind of customers and providing value and providing proper services, like the customers don't complain, right? Like the customer that we charge $850 plus $50 for the wash, he still tipped $100 on top of that, right? We did 3 maintenance washes on, I don't know, Escalade, Mercedes, something, and another Mercedes. It was $380 for the 3, I believe. And then the customer still tipped $80, right? It's like, and like the wash is like 60, 80, and then the interior, I don't know, I forgot to the top of my head. But anyways, it's like even just a wash alone, like it's like double, triple, quadruple the price of what a lot of other detailers charge. And it's like, yeah, but like that's the kind of that's one, like that's the level of service that we offer, right? And going back to what I always say is like, it's not just about the detailing. Like it's not just about like, bro, like you're just washing the vehicle. It's like, yes, we are just washing the vehicle, but like it is everything else around washing the vehicle that kind of sets you to charge higher pricing. And if you're a detailer and you're like, I can't charge more, and the only thing you're focused on is, well, I'm a better detailer. How do I get better at detailing? You're not going to pass that threshold if you're just focused on, well, I need to be a better detailer. That's not going to change a lot of things. So yeah, across the board, like it's just, if you have the right customers, like the trolls, haters, comments, whatever, they're just leaving comments. In the real world, like the people that are actually buying the product service, they're not complaining. They're leaving 5-star reviews. And I gave this example on, I think, Instagram the other day of like, if you go to Linus Tech Tips, he's a Canadian, he has a massive channel. He has like 20 million subscribers across all his channels. But anyways, they posted that they were having a Black Friday sale. It was like $69 for like a hoodie and some sweatpants. And if you go to those comment sections, guess what you're going to read? Bro, that's a ripoff. Bro, it's taxing. This is a scam. You'll get the same comments that I'm getting for the 800 for whatever service that we're doing. You see those same style of comments on his videos. And this is applicable to every single product service industry, where the people that can't afford it will be vocal and leave comments saying this is too expensive, this is a scam, this is a ripoff, bro is taxing, bro is a ripoff, bro thinks he can charge whatever he wants because he has a big following. Yet if you go to their product pages, they have hundreds of reviews, 5-star reviews from customers that are actually purchasing their products. So you see the difference there, where the people that can't afford it, that don't see the value in it, leave the negative comments. The ones that see the value, that want it, go and purchase a product and then leave a review. That is the difference. That's why it doesn't bother me when all these people like are, and I don't want to say haters, because I don't think they're haters. They just, we're disconnected between what we offer and what we value to like what they value, in terms of services and such. So I truly don't want to call them haters. They're not haters. They're just, there's a pretty big disconnect between what they value and then what they see us value in as far as our services. But that's another reason of like, bro, like every industry gets this. But like if you go to the comments, a lot of them are going to be negative because they can't afford it. They don't see the value in it. But then the ones that do see the value, the ones that do want to purchase, they go and purchase, right? So that's something to really take note of. I really thought this was going to be like a 12-minute episode. Turns out to be almost a 30-minute episode. But yeah, like you can't run your business based on others' opinions. Like if you always try to please someone, you won't please anyone, right? Very cliche. But like Mark Zuckerberg said, like if he was worried about getting people to like him, he couldn't build a business. You will always have someone not like you. Always. It does not matter. I mean, your mama probably didn't like you when you said you're gonna leave school and start a business, right? Like it is what it is. That's how it works. So like you like if you, and again, like it's about focusing on the right kind of opinions. Right? Like if our customers were like, hey, like we feel like you should do this. Okay, that's different because that's from customers who spend money with us, that see the value in what we do, and they're offering positive criticism. Not like some random little 18-year-old kid that has a Honda Civic as his profile photo, and he's like, bro, you're scamming. It's like, bro, what am I gonna do with that, dude? You think that's gonna like affect me? No. So focus on the real world. Focus on the people that are actually giving you money. I mean, heck, when I first started my business, my parents would be like, you're going to charge $100 for a detail. And this was back in 2011. Like, it's just like, you can't focus on the opinions of not your customers because they don't have your money. They won't hire you anyways. Right. So, okay. Hopefully this wasn't too long. Hopefully you took something away. Let me know and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.